All right, welcome to class. We are talking about history and origin of broadcasting under the broad topic Introduction to Broadcasting in Module 1. Radio involves the process by which messages are sent through electrical waves. In other words, sound will be sent and received through the waves. The history of radio dates back to the 19th century when a man called Samuel Morse invented the electric telegraph. According to Bittner 1989-93, Guglielmo Marconi built on this invention to produce electromagnetic impulses which will be sent through the air without the use of wires. The voice was carried over long distances. Thus, in 1866, signals were transmitted from England to America without wires. So wireless systems have been existing for a long time. It was also stated that in 1988, Erich Hertz, working on the electromagnetic theory propounded earlier by British scientist James Clerk Maxwell, produced the first radio waves. What is known today as television was coined by a Frenchman called Persky, and the word is made up from Greek tele, meaning at a distance, and the Latin videre, means to see. Boris Rosing, a Russian, is said to be the first person to build a television system. In fact, he is regarded as the father of television. In 1923, another Russian, Vladimir Zworykin, improved on Boris Rosing's work. He developed and presented to the world an electronic camera known as iconoscope. The final development in television, as we see it today, was between 1948 and 1952. This period was regarded as the formative years, and it was at this time that quite a number of TV sets came into use. At this time, too, about 109 television stations were established. In Britain, about 20 stations were in operation. The period 1953 to 1960 was and has been regarded as the golden age of television. So that's a bit about the history and origin of TV. Now, you know the founding fathers of radio and TV. When we talk about Samuel Morse, Heinrich Hertz, and we talk about Guglielmo Marconi, we're talking about the founding fathers of electromagnetic waves and radio. And of course, Boris Rosing's work concerning the development of television, as well as the Russians, Vladimir Zworykin and Persky. All of these people contributed to the development of TV in the world. So we're going to move to the next unit, and we will be talking about basic equipment used in broadcasting. Stay with me. All right, we're talking about basic equipment used in broadcasting. The room that houses the equipment necessary for production, for a broadcaster's finished production, is popularly called the production studio. When you go to radio or TV station, that place that is created for discussions that will go on air is called the studio. There's so many departments you find in a radio TV station or in a broadcast organization. You find the security department, the technical department, you find the engineering department, the camera department, depending on how they want to divide their offices. We have the marketing department, we have the studios, we have the news department, the programs department. But that place that is housing equipment that is used for production or airing of programs is usually called the studio, especially where you find the presenters, the cameras, the microphones. It is called the studio. So by definition, equipment are all those materials installed in the studio for the production of programs, starting from furniture to digital equipment. The equipment needed for program production in the broadcast industry include the camera, tapes, CDs, consoles, microphones, audiovisual players or recorders, multi-track recording or signal processing equipment, monitor speakers, cable connectors, and accessories and furniture. You see a lot of backgrounds, for different programs. All of these are very important and needed. If any of this is absent, then production may not take place because one of the equipment will be needed at one stage of production or another. As you know, maybe you do not know, let me tell you, we have three stages of production. We have the pre-production, the production, and the post-production. We'll get to talk more about this in subsequent topics. Let's talk about the camera. The camera is one of the most important equipment for broadcast program production, without which production cannot hold, especially for TV production. In radio production, you may not need the video camera. All you just need is the microphone, the mixer, and some other gadgets. But because radio is basically for audio production, you may not need a video camera. Now, talking about camera, we have video cameras. They range from lightweight handheld versions to large heavy-duty units. Some are more automated than others, while earlier cameras were built as completely integrated units. Many of today's modular designs allow you to choose features to suit your particular shooting condition. Television or video cameras are of varying types, and their differences essentially rest with the type of pickup tube used. Well, this may be a little bit technical, but then we have experts in the camera department that are meant to look into this. However, the cameras are in two broad categories, namely monochrome or black and white or colored. Well, people don't do black and white anymore. People are into colored, modern color camera. Of course, the modern cameras now have different types, and of course you can pick what is suitable for you. Most of the time you would get to see what the cameras can do, the functions, the capacity of the camera. Let's talk about lighting. Studio lighting or lighting generally serves two main purposes: to enable the camera to see and take clear pictures, and to provide the viewer with important visual information about an event, such as space area, time of day, and even mood of an event. There are basically three types of lighting: base lighting, modal lighting, and effects lighting. The microphone. This equipment is very important to both radio and TV production. The microphone is also an important equipment needed by broadcasters in the discharge of their daily duties. Microphones are of several types, but they perform one function, that of magnifying the voice of the artist. As far as the program production is concerned, the microphone is there to promote the voice of the speaker or the broadcaster. It is there to make it better, to sound good. We have different types of microphones. We have omnidirectional microphone. This type of microphone usually has a long cable which can be extended over a considerable space within a given area. It can easily be used for outside broadcast, or what we call OB, outside broadcast. We have unidirectional microphone. The word uni means one. This type of microphone can be used in one direction. It can only handle about two persons and not more than that, and the person must be positioned in the same direction. We have the bidirectional microphone. This kind of microphone can be directed at the voices from different directions at the same time. This type is most suitable for interviews and group discussion situations. But the word bi is basically two, so which means it may not be able to take a lot of people, all right, but then it would require that. We also have what we call personal microphone. There is personal microphone. This is a small electric clip-on. This is usually called the lapel. It is attached to the shirt, to the tie. Some call it lapel mic, lavalier. It may be hidden beneath the clothing. We have the hanging or slung microphone. This type of microphone is usually suspended over the action area and is effective for area sound pickup, such as choirs or orchestras. Sometimes it is used in the studio. Something that looks like that is the boom mic, when that is used for drama or when you have a number of people. It could be placed above. It's suspended, comes from the roof sometimes, depending on the setting. Let's talk about the console. The console is the link between the microphone and the recording channels. It is equipped with faders, equalizers, various buttons and switches which are used to regulate and modulate signals. The mixing console has a lot of input and output, which are these days digitally operated. With the introduction of modern technology, the console is still a primary piece of equipment in most production facilities. The broadcast consoles used in most stations are fairly straightforward in their construction and operation. Although the board of the console may appear intimidating because of the numerous buttons, knobs, levers, most of these are repeats of what you might have come across before, since the board has many different inputs and output. Because like most of other production equipment, the console is facing transformation from analog to digital. It is said that the console board has three primary functions: to mix, amplify, and route audio. The console enables the operator to select any one or a combination of various inputs. The control board amplifies the incoming audio signals to an appropriate level. Amplification means that the volume of an audio signal going through the console can be raised or lowered as the situation may dictate. So that's it about basic equipment. And so there are many other gadgets in the studio as time will not permit. There are other gadgets, but these are basic equipment used in the studio.